Meet Gungnir. He is basically the John Wick of this universe, reigning absolute supreme as the most terrifying legendary hitman alive. Plot twist: this legendary killer just respawned as an ordinary high schooler. But do not let that fool you. The guy still packs his god-tier combat skills, absolutely demolishing street thugs like it is just another casual Tuesday afternoon. After wiping the floor with his enemies, he cheerfully embraces his hilariously peaceful reality as a totally normal student. Rewind time. How did we get here? As history's deadliest shadow, our overpowered main character was executing his absolute final retirement mission. Cornering his target, Chairman Akagi, he moves with terrifying godlike speed. He dodges literal bullets and slaughters every single guard in sight. Knowing death was knocking, Akagi desperately begged for mercy. Suddenly, Bang Hayate, our hero's absolute best bro and fellow assassin, steals the kill. The Dark Syndicate ordered the chairman's absolute execution, so naturally they fill him with lead and wrap the mission. Glancing at the dead man's phone, Tuji spots a tragic family photo. The guilt hits hard. He instantly drops the bloody hitman life, declaring his official retirement. Our deadly protagonist rushes home to his gorgeous girlfriend Mirai, excitedly dreaming about the warm, home-cooked meal waiting for him. Meanwhile, his best bro Hayate won't stop hyping him up, fanboying over Tuji's legendary status as the undisputed king of the underworld. While the criminal world trembles at his name, Hayate insists that this terrifying reputation makes their bloody jobs way easier. Hayate is totally crushed about his partner quitting. But our guy is completely done grinding experience points. He just wants that sweet slice of life ending. His wholesome character development all sparked the moment he met his precious girlfriend. He craves a ridiculously peaceful life with her and their cute dog John. It is a cozy warmth this cold-blooded killer never knew existed. But Hayate scoffs. How can a grim reaper adapt to society when murder is literally the only skill on his resume? Plot twist again. This cold-blooded reaper is actually a massive romantic planning, a proposal. Looking incredibly sharp, Tuji confidently walks toward his happily ever after. He is sweating like a massive dork, nervously hyping himself up for romance. Suddenly, the metallic stench of blood hits his nose. Absolute panic chokes him. Dashing inside for his dream life, his entire world instantly shatters into a million pieces. Mirai rests lifeless in a tragic bloody pool beside his loyal dog. Soul crushed, he collapses beside her, questioning this absolute nightmare. Instantly sensing a familiar presence, he calls out to Hayate, who coldly claps at Tuji's razor-sharp instincts. Spoiler alert. The Dark Syndicate absolutely refuses to let their ultimate weapon casually retire, especially since he completely rejected their grand evil master plan. Hayate saw Mirai as a massive glitch, ruthlessly deleting her so Tuji could remain a free, unchained monster. With ruthless precision, Hayate executes his emotionally shattered best friend, coldly mourning the ultimate assassin's fall. Bleeding out, Tuji bitterly accepts this incredibly harsh, twisted reality. A blood-soaked monster like him was never meant for a sweet, happy ending. His foolishly naive dream of peace directly triggered his innocent lover's brutal demise. This was karma for a ruthless killer daring to hope. But wait, strange unfamiliar voices echo through the dark void, desperately calling out to his fading soul. Suddenly his heavy eyelids snap wide open. Boom, he is definitely not Tuji the dying hitman anymore, and he is miraculously miles away from that tragic bloody crime scene. Panicking hard, this new body clumsily tumbles out of a hospital bed. Blinking away the blurriness, he stares into the mirror and completely freezes. New face, who is this? The ultimate underworld terror has been ridiculously nerfed into a scrawny, totally average teenage boy. Doctors cheerfully inform young Kaido Fujiwara that he aced his medical exams, successfully completing an intense month-long physical rehabilitation cycle. The beaming doctor happily promises that his scrambled memories will naturally unlock once he re-enters his normal daily grind. Yep, our guy definitely caught the classic anime amnesia debuff. But hilarious plot twist. For our reincarnated Korean John Wick, the reality inside his head is wildly different. His absolute final memory is the soul-crushing visual of his beautiful girl and faithful dog swimming in a horrific crimson puddle. Tuji, the apex predator desperate to log out of the criminal underworld, got totally backstabbed by his literal best brother Hayate. Now he has hilariously respawned inside some random kid's body. His terrifying killer aura has been replaced by totally normal teenager vibes. There is way too much chaotic lore to untangle. However, chilling in the hospital bed let our guy piece together some absolutely vital context clues. Apparently, the original Kaido Fujiwara caught a fatal case of bad luck, getting tragically obliterated by the legendary truck-kun before class. This poor kid suffered massive critical brain damage, demanding absolute emergency medical surgery. Then, after essentially rage-quitting into a month-long coma, his eyes finally snapped open. Except, surprise, it is not Kaido booting up, but our deadly hitman Tuji, who is hilariously overanalyzing how the surgeons actually fixed this human shell. Tragically, his memory is totally blank post-murder. His final memory, some creepy voice announcing Toji's brain was in mint condition. Doing the tragic math, Argos realizes his brain got snatched straight up Kenjaku style. His post-death timeline is totally fuzzy. But suddenly, a massive tidal wave of overwhelming feels hits him like a truck. This hardcore killer actually starts bawling. He weeps bitterly for his lost sweetheart and the cozy vanilla future they almost had. Cut to the hospital exit, Kaido gets discharged and reunites with his folks. Mama Kyoko turns into an absolute waterfall of relief. Meanwhile, Papa Taro Fujiwara, a literal manga artist, celebrates his boy's epic bounce back. His mom frets endlessly over his missing memories. But her husband quickly acts as the family's hype man. He swears their son will bounce right back once he tastes that sweet, ordinary daily routine. They stare at him with sparkling anime eyes, but internally, Toji is sweating bullets of pure, unadulterated panic. Reality slaps him hard. His soul is now securely glued to Kaido's identity. If mysterious enemies are still stalking this host body, his peaceful retirement plan is totally doomed. He slaps on a fake, blindingly bright smile for the folks. Undercover mode activated. The world's deadliest killer is now playing house. Flash forward to the grand arrival at the family crib. Kaido's jaw hits the floor. This kid is completely loaded, living in a mega mansion. Papa Fujiwara clearly draws literal gold. The guy is insanely rich. Bro definitely illustrated solo leveling, or some epic masterpiece. Hold your comment section, roasts. I know that is Korean. Anyway, Mom's bloodline boasts elite superstar doctors, making them basically royalty. Mama leads him upstairs. Stepping inside his new bedroom, the hardened assassin pauses to scan his absolute safe zone. He immediately spots the military-level neatness. Not a single manga volume out of place. Honestly, it screams painfully average teenage boy energy from top to bottom. Flashing back to those hospital visits, he pictures his new parents literally crying their eyes out with pure worry. This host was endlessly treasured. It powerfully echoes his late girlfriend's ultimate wish for him to finally find true happiness. A soft, fluffy warmth that his blood-soaked past life absolutely denied him. Breaking these sweet parents' hearts is totally off the table. Suddenly, a wildly suspicious photograph catches his sharp killer eyes. Plot twist. The frame holds his folks alongside a completely different mystery trio. Mission update. He desperately needs to binge-read this kid's entire lore before his cover gets totally blown. Morning strikes. A VIP guest crashes the house in a ridiculously stretched limo, completely ignoring his 24-hour rest period. Talk about aggressive loyalty. She insists on checking his pulse due to their massive childhood history. Papa swings the door open to a blindingly gorgeous Yuzua. She aggressively demands a full health report on her bestie. Before Dad can even stutter a reply, Kaido peeks out. Bingo, it is the exact same girl from the desk photo. Zero hesitation. She violently hugs him, nearly crushing his ribs while screaming about his medical well-being. Mama watches from the sidelines, absolutely loving this chaotic childhood reunion. Our undercover hitman quickly scans the room's energy, instantly calculating that Yuzua holds the elite childhood friend status. She gleefully offers him a super luxurious chauffeur ride to class, but Kaido coldly shoots her down. Knowing her family literally swims in cash, Dad attempts to intervene, but wild Yuzua practically throws our guy into the shiny vehicle. Swearing to guard his fragile health, she loudly declares an epic comeback party for Kaido's miraculous hospital escape. His folks stand completely dumbfounded, eventually returning to work while the chaotic duo speeds towards school. Meanwhile, on campus, a squad of dirty bottom-tier street punks are actively plotting some absolute garbage. Boss Tetsu desperately wants to target Yuzua. His terrified minions panic, fearing they might provoke the anime equivalent of tech royalty. Shooting them a venomous glare, Tetsu forcefully roars at his lackeys to stop shaking like pathetic cowards. They already pocketed dirty cash from a shadowy client. Backing out now is literally impossible. The shady hit must continue. Their mysterious boss plays zero games. Mid-scheming Yuzuha's obscenely expensive ride dramatically pulls up to the gates. Plot twist. The punks completely freeze, noticing an unknown dude sitting right beside her. The snitches report Kaido is just a harmless NPC childhood friend, recovering from a bad wreck. Nothing to worry about. Tetsu smirks a wickedly dangerous idea, forming cut to the bell ringing as Yuzua and Kaido separate for homeroom. The hidden killer secretly analyzes her bubbly vibe, deciding she acts exactly like an overprotective, completely exhausting older sister. Stepping into the classroom, Kaido breathed in the mundane air. This legendary assassin was finally experiencing his first ever day of actual high school. Our completely oblivious main character politely asks for his desk, greeted by a classmate's beaming smile. Instantly, that cheerful grin warped into pure, unfiltered terror. Looming right behind Kaido was the school's resident mountain of meat, Tetsu. This overgrown bully sneered down at him. "You don't have a desk here, loser." He demanded Kaido follow his gang outside immediately. Moments later, they dragged him to the courtyard. Meanwhile, our hilariously dense assassin was genuinely wondering if his desk got misplaced. Catching their malicious snickers, Kaido's killer instincts finally realized these punks were just picking a fight. Staring back at their threatening stances, his patience snapped. He coldly demanded they spit out his desk's location. Tetsu and his goons just busted out laughing. Strutting forward, the arrogant delinquent handed our seemingly innocent boy an ultimatum. Grovel on the concrete and beg for mercy, and they might generously let him survive with just a brutal beating. Turns out, this meathead was throwing a massive temper tantrum, all because the lovely Yuzua preferred Kaido. Tetsu violently threatened our hero. If Kaido ever breathed in her general direction again, he would personally dig both their graves. Absolutely hilarious, considering he's threatening a literal reincarnation of John Wick processing this absolute comedy. Kaido sighed, profoundly disappointed these clowns were actually hostile. He genuinely pitied them. Not for his own sake, but because these fools were begging to get completely decimated. Trapped in this frail body, the legendary Hitman had sworn off violence to live a perfectly peaceful life. Offering one last sliver of mercy, he calmly suggested Tetsu swallow his threats so they could walk away without bloodshed. Unsurprisingly, that cool dismissal triggered the crusty blonde thug into a total meltdown. He absolutely lost his mind. Veins popping with blind rage, the brute charged. He launched a heavy right hook, intending to obliterate Kaido instantly. But our glorious main character just watched it in slow motion. What an amateurish, sloppy swing. He left roughly 1,000,000 vital spots wide open. The strike was so tragically slow, Kaido barely twitched, instantly shattering the bully's fragile ego with one devastating counterpunch. Deciding to end this joke, he delivered a magnificently clean palm strike straight to Tetsu's jaw, flipping him like a literal rag doll with a flawless judo slam. Kaido sighed. The ordinary world was laughably peaceful compared to his blood-soaked past. Moments later, Yuzua sprinted to his rescue only to freeze as she caught our boy absolutely dripping with menacing aura. Bathed in the dramatic rooftop sunlight, the truth hit her. He wasn't trapped with them, they were trapped with him. Completely dumbfounded, Yuzua stared wide-eyed. Was this absolute unit of a fighter really the same fragile Kaido she grew up with? Trembling slightly, she pointed at the unconscious bodies, asking if he did this. Sweating bullets, our deadly assassin quickly scrambled for a normal excuse. He lied about getting swept up in a random brawl. The whole school was already gossiping. Hearing the rumors, Yuzua had panicked and sprinted straight up to the rooftop. She desperately wanted to remain in denial. There was zero chance her sweet, innocent childhood friend could unleash such absolute devastation. Then her eyes locked onto a crimson bloodstain on his collar. Assuming the worst, she freaked out while Kaido awkwardly swore he was completely unharmed. Tears welling up, Yuzua exploded into a classic tsundere, scolding furiously, yelling at him for terrifying her. That fiery anger instantly melted into heartbreak over his safety. Totally baffled by normal human emotions, the ruthless assassin awkwardly apologized. Agreeing to head back inside, they turned away. But Kaido's sharp ears caught a sinister, broken whisper from the trashed bully. This clown still wanted revenge. Fast forward to that evening, transitioning straight to the lavish dinner party Yuzua organized. Kaido's parents popped the expensive champagne, laying out an absolutely mouth-watering 5-star feast. Seriously, did they kidnap a master chef for this spread? It looked impossibly delicious. Amidst his parents' joyful laughter, a bittersweet memory struck Kaido. He remembered Mai, his late girlfriend from his past life, beaming beautifully as she playfully scolded him to eat. Back then, her sweet voice could turn this cold-blooded executioner into a hungry golden retriever. Even the household pup was drooling. In his past life, he had asked her if this was what true family warmth felt like. That profound nostalgia washed over his soul right now. The ruthless killer was finally tasting true, peaceful happiness. But hold on, where was Yuzua? She was running mysteriously late for a celebration she literally planned herself. His dad casually mentioned that Yuzua had been struggling lately, hiding her hidden pain behind that fiercely stubborn, brave smile of hers. Instantly, a chilling dread spiked through his chest. His legendary assassin instincts were screaming that something was horribly wrong. Frowning, he grabbed his buzzing phone. The caller ID flashed his childhood friend's name. He answered to check on her, but a disgustingly familiar, arrogant sneer echoed through the speaker instead. That pathetic rooftop bully laughed maniacally. He smugly texted a set of coordinates, daring the sleeping dragon to come save her. If Kaido dares to refuse, they swear Yuzua will pay the ultimate devastating price. By the way, the poor girl and her driver are already hostages, so this trash isn't joking around. Yuzua desperately screams through the phone, begging him to stay away. But our main character has heard enough, realizing these absolute scumbags will harm her unless he instantly takes action. So he asks for the location, and the arrogant punk happily leaks it. The tense call clicks completely shut, and Kaido plays it totally cool, acting like he was just casually chatting with another random buddy. He smoothly informs his oblivious parents about a super quick errand, promising them he will be right back in a flash. The grim scene aggressively cuts to a dark abandoned factory, where a dozen armed goons are eagerly waiting to mercilessly crush him. But wait, the menacing syndicate boss has actually arrived too, while his massive bodyguard is casually pumping iron right behind him. The boss is absolutely furious that Tatsuya dared make that call viciously, slamming a cold can right into his stupid face. He wants a totally low profile, so being summoned out of nowhere creates a massively dangerous risk. Anyway, the filthy scumbag proudly reveals he captured poor Yuzua to flawlessly execute the Dark Syndicate's strict orders. Apparently, they desperately want to violently extract secret information from her regarding her massive inheritance. But so far, our stubborn girl has not cracked fiercely screaming. She absolutely knows nothing. That is exactly why slimy Tatsuya actually bothered calling her fiercely loyal best friend the annoying kid always hovering nearby. He wickedly calculates that threatening her precious friend will definitely force her to talk. Achieving this twisted goal guarantees Tatsuya a highly coveted official rank within the criminal underworld. The ominous boss casually approves but chillingly warns the pathetic blonde about the horrific consequences if he spectacularly fails this mission. You see, Inukami, the giant muscle freak, isn't really one to talk. This beast's sole instinct is sheer murder, violently demonstrated by hurling a heavy dumbbell, so absurdly fast it obliterates a solid freaking wall. Inukami's terrifying aura alone makes the cowardly blonde practically wet his pants, knowing failure means he becomes the monster's next bloody victim. Yuzua fiercely roars, stubbornly worsening her grave situation by aggressively provoking them, while her panicking assistant frantically begs for calm. Sadly, that leads to Tatsuya ruthlessly beating him violently, slamming him down with his foot. He is fiercely enraged that anyone would dare meddle right between the two of them. He cruelly orders his pathetic underlings to drag the assistant away, focusing his deadly glare on Yuzua, coldly promising her childhood friend will die if she stays silent. Even facing death, the desperate girl tearfully swears she knows absolutely nothing. Pissed beyond belief, Tatsuya instantly orders his goons to drag Kaido before him at once. Right now, they boast 40 fully armed thugs plus a colossal former wrestler, infamous for literally murdering a man inside the bloody ring. Facing this nightmare, there is absolutely no way the kid comes out on top. The arrogant blonde feels completely certain Kaido will never bypass monster Inukami, forcing broken Yuzua to reveal everything. The dramatic perspective sharply shifts back to our boy finally reaching the doomed factory. Guarding outside are a bunch of clueless idiots completely unaware they are his next tragic victims. Casually strolling right past them, our guy shows literally zero fear, until one observant thug finally realizes he is their primary target, but it is way too late. Our main character effortlessly dismantles the fool with an insanely painful neck strike. He drops them completely unconscious in a flash. With 3 men instantly deleted, the remaining furious thugs blindly charge straight ahead. But today is their doomsday. The monstrous high schooler absolutely mops the floor with them, hilariously shoving one unlucky guy straight into the trash bin. Flashing a terrifyingly murderous glare, Kaido coldly warns the trembling thugs to stay out of his divine sight if they truly value living in one piece. And yes, the One Piece is totally real. Back to Tatsuya. His impatient boss is genuinely starting to worry that the kid isn't even showing up yet. They arrogantly wonder if the little boy cowardly chickened out. He is just a kid, right? But only the trembling blonde scumbag secretly knows his rooftop opponent was no kid but an absolute demon. He desperately tries reasoning with his leader Mr. Suo, nervously assuring him their opponent is absolutely not normal. Speaking of the devil, they suddenly hear panicked men screaming Fujiwara's name just outside the heavy factory doors. Yuzua gasps in pure shock, while the blonde coward genuinely trembles for his life. Suddenly, the doors violently explode, open, flinging a broken thug like a paper ball right beside Tatsuya's shaking feet. Deeply excited, the giant muscle maniac confronts his new target. Meanwhile, the seemingly harmless boy chillingly reminds trembling Tatsuya of his deadly previous warning. Honestly, our overpowered main character is seriously struggling to suppress his monstrous aura just to avoid accidentally killing these absolute weaklings. Mr. Suo stands totally baffled, nervously questioning how one single kid somehow completely annihilated 20 armed thugs all by himself. Casually adjusting his tie for absolute maximum aura, Kaido coldly demands to see his friend. Yuzua's desperate scream loudly surges throughout the factory, completely terrified he came for her. Thanks to her clear voice, he perfectly pinpoints she is exactly 30 meters ahead. Relieved she is safely okay, his sharp eyes intensely scan the dark environment for the hostile men preparing to strike him. In a mind-bending span of barely 53 seconds, our overpowered hero's absolute god-tier speed spectacularly blitzes the living hell out of the entire massive room. He utterly paralyzes the shocked boss with his godlike agility, flawlessly destroying every single thug around. Meanwhile, pathetic Tatsuya is literally crawling away like a whimpering coward. These goons just realized they poked a sleeping dragon and earned an absolute beatdown. Pure terror chokes Tatsuya as our hero grips him tight, A raised fist guarantees a hilarious amount of incoming agony. Bam! Lightning-fast strikes instantly shatter the thug's collarbones, elbows, and ribs in a brutal symphony of destruction. To add insult to injury, a casual little shove casually launches the broken thug straight into the concrete wall. Suo's henchmen are absolutely sweating bullets. They desperately try retreating to save their skin, but the boss angrily reminds these cowards about their paychecks. Reality finally smacks Mr. Suo in the face. This high schooler is not some weak prey, but an absolute walking disaster. Blissfully blindfolded Yuzua missed the entire bloodbath. Our hero gently approaches her, softly whispering that the nightmare is finally over. But just as he reaches for the knots, a gigantic wrestler sneaks up, dropping a massive fist. The devastating strike seemingly lands perfectly, making poor Yuzua shriek in sheer terror. Smirking confidently, Suo genuinely believes this gigantic ex-pro wrestler just secured their bloody victory. Too bad for them. As the dust clears, the epic attack hit absolutely nothing but thin air. Kaido effortlessly blocked it, planting a vicious counter kick that freezes the giant dead in his tracks. The insane meathead swings again. Yet Kaido smoothly deflects the attack, punishing the giant with a bone-crushing punch right to the face. That strike explodes the thug's nose. Still, the cocky wrestler arrogantly assumes a kid's strength cannot possibly bring him down. After trading blows, our reincarnated assassin realizes this mountain of muscle is definitely the boss of this dungeon. Thanks to his weak teenage body, performing his usual one-hit assassin kill is unfortunately off the table today. He instantly switches his brutal combat tactic. Before the giant can smash him, our boy literally vanishes like a ghost, locking his deadly sights straight onto the enemy's exposed ribs. Kaido unleashes a ferocious rapid-fire combo, brutally drilling every single strike into one specific weak point. Relentless knees and fists completely break the giant's spirit before knocking him cold. David just totally wrecked Goliath. Watching their strongest tank get folded like laundry, the remaining 6 thugs hilariously sprint for their lives. Smartest move ever. The assassin inside wants to hunt them, but saving Yuzua is clearly the priority right now. Slashing her bindings, he slaps on a goofy smile, genuinely relieved to see his precious friend unharmed. He softly guarantees that the villains are gone and even her unconscious assistant is totally safe. Naturally, surviving a gang kidnapping is insanely traumatic, leaving him worried she might burst into terrified tears. Instead, she fiercely yanks his tie. Zero gratitude, just pure comedic rage, scolding him for playing action hero. Why? Because any normal teenager would have immediately dialed the cops or literally called an adult. Instead, this crazy dude chose a blockbuster entrance to solo 40 grown thugs single-handedly. Her anger melts into genuine gratitude for his protection. Yet watching him risk death absolutely crushes her gentle heart. Her trembling voice perfectly mirrors his past life's partner, Mirai, who constantly feared losing him to the underworld. Gazing warmly into her eyes, Kaido solemnly swears to never cause her such heartbreaking panic ever again. Their touching romantic tension is instantly ruined by the pathetic groans of the terribly bruised assistant. Wailing sirens signal the late arrival of the authorities. Kaido smiles, declaring it is finally time to go home. Meanwhile, a battered Suo stumbles into an alley, utterly traumatized that their ultimate weapon failed against a literal child. Turns out this pathetic loser answers to a truly terrifying underworld kingpin hiding in the shadows. Sinister mastermind coldly reveals dispatching an elite killer named Lancelot for revenge. Defying the legendary Great Will Syndicate means this overpowered high schooler just signed his own death warrant. Before the storm hits, our exhausted main character flops onto his cozy bed, feeling insanely guilty about giving his sweet parents a heart attack. Tonight, the vivid memory of his frantic parents haunts his peaceful rest. Luckily, the clueless cops completely ignored the innocent-looking teenager, letting him bypass any annoying interrogations. However, those mysterious villains and their shady motives still leave a sour taste in his mouth. The cowardly leader vanished into thin air. Kaido's assassin instincts scream that an even darker nightmare is secretly brewing. During his peaceful morning run, he makes an ironclad vow to completely shield his loved ones from danger. Bam! A sudden storm of deadly projectiles forces him into a gravity-defying mid-air acrobatic dodge. Hidden above, the hidden sniper loses his mind, seeing a kid dodge his flawless ambush. Kaido totally knew he had a stalker. That's why he strolled out here like sitting duck bait. Spinning around, our guy demands to know what the creeper wants. The shady weirdo is actually amazed our hero spotted him lurking in the bedroom. Nobody ever catches him. This instantly proves our boy is no ordinary high school punk. Kaido drops a little sarcastic praise. This stalker's stealth is leagues above those factory street trash. It's painfully obvious this shadowy stalker doesn't work a regular 9-to-5 office job. So why exactly is this elite ninja creeping on a teenager? Smirking the assassin wagers, this sharp-eyed kid dabbles in the very same bloody underworld. Nope, our hero shamelessly sticks to his completely ordinary student routine. Done with chatting, the villain draws his blades. This deadly aura sparks wild memories of Kaido's past life. The killer confidently announces Kaido's immediate doom. Meet Sanjo. rank 67 in the notorious Great Will Syndicate. Taking his stance, Kaido realizes the irony. He used to work for them, meanwhile, back at their villainous evil lair. Council boss Akatsuki is losing his mind. Kidnapping Yuzua literally gave them zero clues. He rages that they should have just sent a legendary lance assassin originally. Just how terrifying is this shadowy syndicate? With 1,000 merciless killers, they could plunge the whole world into utter chaos. The top 100 freaks hold the title of Lance. These elite killing machines boast a flawless 100% win rate. Minami and Akatsuki share this insane standard. Minami confesses they hunt a world-breaking treasure, target Fenrir's seed, and little Yuzua secretly holds this divine loot. Lacking solid proof, Yoshima proudly admits he dispatched Sanjo anyway to finish it. Panic erupts. Deploying a lance requires Odin's blessing. But plot twist, Yoshima already grabbed that golden ticket. They laugh at Yuzua's garbage bodyguard. He definitely couldn't stop them. Smelling a hidden rat, he labels these mysterious protectors a massive threat. Time to let the lances wipe them out. Back in the alley, Kaido spots his old guild's classic flavor. Sanjo's flawlessly weird posture screams elite lance energy. Our hero's darkest theory hits hard. The syndicate is pulling all the strings behind Yuzua's drama. This isn't basic inheritance theft. It's a massive conspiracy. Sanjo studies the kid's flawless guard. Ordinary student, yeah, right. The teenager stares down deadly steel without blinking, judging him a lethal hazard to Yuzua. Kaido explodes forward to wreck him. The pro casually dodges sweating bullets because this kid is targeting his vitals at lightning speed. Kaido fights like a reincarnated demon. But Sanjo isn't just cannon fodder. A blinding thrust nearly removes Kaido's nose, forcing a retreat. He instantly downloads his opponent's weird combat data. Sanjo completely abuses his long attack range. Hyped by this challenge, the killer launches into the sky for an aerial assault, flipping the script with a butterfly trick. The assassin morphs his stance mid-air to totally crush our hero. Sanjo smiles like a maniac, as Kaido weaves like a master. Meanwhile, Kaido curses this fragile teenage body. His stats are way too low. To beat a beast like this, he needs some serious environmental big brain plays. Rushing aggressively, the lance grins positive. He's found a fatal opening. Boom. Except he only stabbed Kaido's empty jacket. Our boy counters with a vicious neck swipe. Shockingly, the elite killer bends backward, returning fire with a desperate slash. Steel bites flesh. Blood flies as Kaido remembers why lances are absolutely terrifying. His unawakened body is totally lagging behind his skills. Meanwhile, the villain chuckles at that galaxy brain jacket trap. Sanju realizes Kaido's flawless footwork isn't just luck. This kid is a top-tier combat professional. The only missing puzzle piece, that raw, bloodthirsty killing intent. His mission was just icing a random high schooler. But looking at this monster deploying an elite, Lance suddenly makes perfect sense. Sanju gloats that Kaido is ruining the Syndicate's grand master plan for Yuzua. Therefore, he absolutely must be eliminated right now. Thanks to that big mouth, Kaido connects the dots. The shadowy syndicate is definitely pulling every single string. Flipping the switch to full psycho, our assassin shifts into maximum combat gear, naturally striking an ultra-edgy battle stance. No more playing around. He vows to unleash a devastating fraction of his true murderous aura. Sanju launches his absolutely unhinged dragon dance stance. It's basically a relentless tornado of steel zooming straight toward our main character. The crazed Lance goes entirely berserk, effortlessly shredding a whole tree into toothpicks. Meanwhile, Kaido tactically ducks behind some solid cover. Our boy quickly does the math. This lunatic is leagues above your everyday run-of-the-mill street killer. That insane steel hurricane shreds his hiding spot, blasting a massive water geyser. Taking another nasty slash, Kaido confirms this Lance is straight-up S-class tier. Dodging this infinite storm of blades is a total nightmare. Even our overpowered hero is catching some serious stray cuts. Sanju totally loses his mind, calling Kaido a fellow murderer. He casually taunts if turning Yuzua into collateral damage is cool. Oh boy, terrible mistake. That single arrogant threat officially activates Kaido's deeply buried ultra-traumatic backstory mode. Only this time around, the haunting memory of his lost girlfriend shifts perfectly into Yuzua's innocent face. Absolutely enraged, his aura explodes as he charges headfirst to absolutely demolish this cocky assassin. He brutally knocks the weapon away, snatches it midair, and totally speed blitzes a devastating slash across Sanju's collarbone. The counterattack is blindingly fast. Even an elite killer can't process the blur. Sanju is left screaming internally about this teenage monster. Our main character utterly refuses to repeat his tragic past. He swears upon his very soul to shield Yuzua from harm. The delusional Lance babbles that resisting destiny is entirely useless. He claims heaven's will demands Kaido's absolute demise. Bro is missing half his shoulder and still wants to throw hands. Those infinite blade works are completely garbage now. Kaido flawlessly deflects every single strike like a legendary master, taunting the teenager for being a coward. Sanju carelessly exposes a massive blind spot during his wild swing. Teaching him a brutal lesson, Kaido teleports behind him. He ruthlessly shreds the assassin's thigh, mocking him for barking so loudly. Bleeding out, Sanju panics over this impossible speed boost. Desperate, he shamelessly recycles his previous attack pattern to overwhelm the kid. Total absolute disaster. Kaido carves a bloody map into his left arm, coldly declaring that his pathetic moveset is completely downloaded. For his grand finale, Kaido explodes with god-tier acceleration. He literally goes full Beyblade mode, carving a path straight into Sanju's torso. Flashing a demonic glare, he brings doom to the lance. Sanju is left utterly baffled by this godlike agility and flawless blade mastery. This overwhelming, terrifying presence, it perfectly mirrors the legendary wrath of Gungnir, their organization's absolute supreme killer. Kaido mercilessly shreds this clown's physique, leaving him violently leaking an absolute ocean of blood. The battle concludes instantly. Sanju finally understands he was tragically out of his league from second one. Gasping for breath, the elite killer violently shivers in pure terror. His arm tendons are totally sliced. He can't even twitch a single finger. Amazingly, our hero generously spares a single leg. But Kaido coldly guarantees this clown's glorious assassination career is permanently cancelled. No more killing for you, buddy. With ice-cold ruthlessness, Kaido notes that stripping away his combat ability destroys the only twisted identity this psycho actually valued. It's a punishment, far worse than the grave. Underworld monsters like him can never survive normal society. But before tossing him aside, our boy coldly demands answers to two vital questions. Spill the tea, or he promises to painfully amputate his one remaining good leg. First demand, give up the exact name of the mastermind, and explain why Yuzua is the main target of this hunt. Chuckling like an absolute maniac, Sanju vows absolute silence. He'd rather face deadly torture than betray the sacred will of his almighty god. Hearing that divine title makes the puzzle pieces click. Sadly, police sirens suddenly ruin the interrogation party. Sanju's explosive property damage naturally summoned the cops. Using that chaotic distraction, the one-legged assassin miraculously hops away into the shadows. He mockingly advises the kid to vanish quickly, before authorities slap on the handcuffs. Right before disappearing, Sanju drops a massive truth bomb, questioning if Kaido truly believes he can play normal teenager. That psychological damage hits deep. A flood of memories reminds Kaido how everyone swore a cold-blooded killing machine could never achieve a peaceful slice-of-life ending. Drenched in blood, one chilling thought haunts his mind. Is he really just a normal kid? Can you even call him a high school student? While that remains a mystery, we cut to headquarters where Yoshima receives a massive update on Sanju. Izumo drops a bombshell. Their elite lance was completely shattered, left entirely unable to fight. Akatsuki is absolutely mind-blown. How did some random kid totally crush a master assassin? Trembling with excitement, Izumo confirms the truth. Whoever did this was an absolute monster. Sanju claimed his movements mirrored the legendary Gungnir. The mere name sends shockwaves through the room. Even Akatsuki calls cap. Comparing this nobody to history's deadliest blade master feels like a massive stretch. Izumo gets their doubt. The legendary title of Gungnir is never thrown around lightly. Nami breaks up the argument while Akatsuki whines about Tsuji's legendary status. Still, they all agree on one thing. Yuzua's mystery bodyguard is insanely overpowered. He did not just ruin their master plan. He completely wrecked a lance-tier threat. After this crazy twist, Yoshima's crew cannot just sit back and watch anymore. Yoshima desperately wonders who Kaido Fujiwara really is. Meanwhile, our main character sneaks into his bedroom, quietly stitching up his own battle wounds. He is having a major identity crisis. Right now, he is supposed to be a completely normal student, not the ruthless assassin he once was. But sadly, he still needs to protect Yuzua from the organization's deadly radar. Plus, defeating a lance means a giant target is now painted right on his back. With his current weakened body, he is doomed. Kaido resolves to grind hard and awaken his true power again. To protect this precious, peaceful slice of life, he will annihilate any threat that dares to cross his path. Back at the Great Will, Syndicate, a thrilled Akatsuki eagerly volunteers to hunt down this mysterious new target himself. Everyone is shocked, but Izumo grins. For a monster like this, it is the perfect strategy. Because if this kid truly rivals the legendary Tuji, an average lance would just be a warm-up. A bloodthirsty Akatsuki is thrilled to personally erase this anomaly. And spoiler alert, this guy is terrifying. Ranked 9th overall, he is literally one of the deadliest assassins alive. One day after the kidnapping chaos, Kaido's parents and Yuzua throw him a massive welcome home celebration. They happily cheer for his safe hospital discharge. Bursting with pride, his dad serves up a supposedly handmade omuris. Honestly though, the dark, sludgy dish looks absolutely cursed. Next up, Yuzua blushes and presents her own special gift. She sets down a bowl of heavenly mouth-watering beef stew. Flashing a confident smirk, she proudly orders him to devour her culinary masterpiece while it is hot. The second that rich flavor hits his tongue, a sudden tragic flashback strikes his mind. He remembers leaving home. Mai gently asked if he was going to be out working late again. That night, he promised he would be back for dinner. He claimed he was just running errands, hiding the bloody reality of his true assassin work. Mai's face lit up with pure joy. She was cooking his favorite beef stew, and that simple thought warmed his cold heart. With soft eyes, he promised to reveal something massive upon his return. She waved goodbye, wearing her beautiful smile, cradling little Johnny in her arms. Swallowing the stew, sorrow crashes over Kaido. He never got the chance to say he was quitting the underworld forever to stay with her. Seeing his gloomy face, Yuzua pouts in annoyance. Did her cooking really taste that terrible? Suddenly, our boy starts furiously inhaling the stew, eating like it is his last meal on Earth. Fighting back tears, he swears it is absolutely delicious. Hearing this, Yuzua's heart flutters happily. His mom laughs, offering endless refills for his huge appetite. Meanwhile, his dad literally sets the frying pan ablaze as Yuzua giggles happily with her cake. Deep inside his soul, our hero feels incredibly grateful to have found such a chaotic, loving family. Later, he personally escorts Yuzua home, knowing the shadows have grown far too dangerous recently. He cautiously asks if she has sensed anything suspicious lurking around her lately. She confidently mentions the heavy police guard around her estate, claiming she is perfectly safe. Confused, Kaido asks where her overprotective butler went. She bluntly reveals she ordered him away. The guy is such a buzzkill, it is literally impossible to have fun when he hovers nearby. Changing the subject, she beams brightly, saying she had an absolute blast at his house. She softly admits it has been ages since she laughed that hard with anyone. Suddenly, her warm smile fades into shadow. She confesses she has been quietly drowning in sorrow since her father passed. This devastating truth leaves our boy totally stunned. Panicking Yuzua realizes she kept this hidden to protect his fragile amnesia from any extra traumatic stress. She reveals the tragedy struck 2 months prior, right when that fateful car crash forced him into his deep sleep. The puzzle pieces snap together for Kaido. No wonder she looked so utterly heartbroken back then. Yet she masked her crushing grief behind a bright, sunny smile, playing the strong girl perfectly. Her main character guiltily apologizes, but Yuzua waves it off with a laugh, teasing that he hasn't changed a single bit, though she admits he did grow up a little. Still, that reckless streak has been baked into his DNA since childhood. He would bravely throw fists at massive schoolyard bullies to protect her, completely ignoring the impossible odds. History repeated itself during her kidnapping, though her blindfold totally robbed her of witnessing his epic combat skills. Squinting with suspicion, Yuzua interrogates his rescue methods. Sweating bullets, our boy deflects, claiming his pure aura simply terrified the thugs. Technically not a lie, considering he had just slaughtered their crew like an absolute demon, but Yuzua's lie detector is tingling. Ultimately, she drops it. The only thing that truly matters is his heroic willingness to dive into danger for her. Trembling slightly, Yuzua admits pure terror gripped her heart when those underworld thugs threatened them both. But seeing his face arrive like a beacon in the darkness melted all her fears away. She smiles a genuine thank you. Channeling ultimate Riz, our hero swears to rescue her 1,000,000 times over if needed. Cue Yuzua transforming into a blushing tomato. Completely flustered, the tsundere aggressively yanks him closer, snapping an adorable couple selfie to hide her embarrassment. Beaming at the perfect shot, she proudly declares it her new phone wallpaper to immortalize this magical afternoon. Completely oblivious to the spicy high school rumors, this will spark Yuzua whispers that it will help heal her grieving heart. Watching Kaido fiercely protect her after surviving his own coma inspires her to finally let go of her father's tragic passing. A gentle smile crosses his face, realizing they share the exact same hidden pain. This fuels his burning resolve to shield his precious childhood friend, but suddenly his blood runs freezing cold when she shows her dad's photo. His entire soul practically leaves his physical body. He recognizes that man immediately. Voice shaking, he asks if that is truly her dad. Yuzua sighs, blaming his amnesia since her father adored him. Her cheerful vibe drops. She admits the world constantly painted her old man as a ruthless villain, but to her he was the gentlest dad imaginable, earning her unconditional and absolute devotion. Staring at the wholesome lock screen, a devastating flashback hits Kaido. He saw this exact photo during his final assassination job. Searing agony rips through his conscience. He is the monster who violently stole Yuzua's beloved father from the world. Oblivious to his inner turmoil, Yuzua tilts her head, wondering why he suddenly turned into a silent statue. Kaido's brain short circuits. His sweet childhood friend is the daughter of Chairman Akagi, his cold-blooded murder victim. He desperately tries coping, rationalizing that Hayate actually pulled the trigger. If he knew the truth, he would never have accepted the hit. Yet suffocating guilt remains. He blindly acted as the Great Will's weapon, executing Akagi for alleged treason without question. The darkest part, back then pulling the trigger felt like absolute nothingness to his hollow soul. Now his dark past shadows Yuzua. He debates confessing his true identity as an elite agent behind her father's demise. He viciously grinds his teeth together, completely paralyzed by this nightmarish dilemma. Fast forward to morning homeroom. Kaido zones out while the girls squeal over rumors of a super handsome transfer student. Ultimately, our hero locks his secret away. The shadowy organization won't just vanish because he broke a single assassin's weapon. His only path forward is to become her ultimate unseen guardian angel. Suddenly, the classroom door slides open as the teacher introduces the mysterious new kid. The second the boy speaks, Kaido's blood freezes. His eyes widen in pure, unadulterated shock. Staring at that cheerful pink-haired brat, panic sets in. Why is an elite divine spear infiltrating a normal high school? Remembering his last psychotic attacker, reality hits hard. The Great Will dispatched an elite enforcer to punish his recent heroic interference. Without warning, the new kid locks eyes with Kaido, delivering a dead, murderous glare that pierces through his soul. That chilling gaze screams his true intentions. There is zero doubt left. This pink-haired menace is definitely Akatsuki, a legendary assassin from the 12 Divine Spears operating under the terrifying codename Bident. Later during gym class, the crowd absolutely erupts as the new guy effortlessly sinks another flawless three-pointer. The girls are instantly swooning. Meanwhile, his teammates are left utterly baffled by his insane jumping power despite his tiny frame. Playing the humble guy, Makoto brushes it off as a lucky pass, hyping up his squad for the next round. Swoosh goes another flawless shot. The rival squad grits their teeth, absolutely fuming that the new guy is already a ridiculous chick magnet. But Kaido remains sharply on edge. It is way too quiet. Why hasn't this deadly lance struck yet? What sinister plot is brewing inside that smug head? For context, the Lances are an elite underworld syndicate. Exactly 100 top-tier assassins, each brutally branded with a rank. Among them rule the top 12. The legendary spears. Absolute monsters answering only to their supreme boss Odin. These walking cheat codes pack ridiculous skills capable of crushing 1,000 soldiers. When it comes to killing, these freaks of nature could effortlessly solo an entire country's military force. Such apex predators only move for major bounties. Kaido connects the terrifying dots. They are absolutely desperate to capture Yuzua. A dark shadow falls over our hero's eyes as devastating memories of his last bloody mission resurface. Wagers, these hitmen are hunting the legendary hidden treasure the chairman allegedly swiped right from under their noses. Panic creeps in. If Akatsuki unleashes hell inside this school, can he genuinely keep all these clueless students alive, especially his precious childhood friend? Not while trapped in this frail teenage body. Later, regular homeroom classes finally resume, yet the utterly obsessed mob of fangirls swarms Makoto, desperately pleading for him to hit up karaoke with them. The new guy is a massive heartthrob. Their crushes totally skyrocket when he casually flexes about playing hoops back in the United States. Off in the corner, our vigilant main character observes the circus. Clearly, Akatsuki is holding off his deadly attack today. He vows to maintain maximum security tomorrow. Suddenly, a sweet voice breaks his focus. It is Yuzua calling his name. She coyly asks for a cute after-school hangout. But our fiercely protective hero ruthlessly shoots her down without hesitation. He strictly orders her to march straight home. But right then, a chilling, unseen hand firmly grips his shoulder. Smirking Makoto pops up behind him, brightly greeting the bewildered girl by her first name. Warning sirens violently blare in Kaido's mind. This bastard is officially targeting Yuzua. Makoto smoothly drops his formal introduction, but Yuzua laughs it off. He is already the school's hottest viral sensation. She curiously questions how he knows her name without ever meeting, flashing a sickeningly sweet smile. The new guy nonchalantly states she is the famous heiress of the massive Akagi group fortune. That heavy truth completely rattles her. Her cheerful vibe instantly sinks, while Makoto smoothly spins a lie about his dad owing her father, claiming he was ordered to act as her bodyguard. But the second this creep attempts to ask her out, Kaido aggressively interrupts the flirting. He drops a lame excuse about a jammed basketball finger, demanding Makoto escort him to the nurse immediately. Our hero unleashes a murderous, spine-chilling glare. Makoto gets the terrifying hint, immediately playing along. The dramatic duo ditches the confused girl. She smiles softly, secretly thanking Kaido for saving her from yet another total weirdo. Fast forward to the desolate school rooftop. The tense atmosphere thickens as Makoto casually admires the scenic skyline. He starts dramatically monologuing about the beautiful, fleeting essence of teenage youth. Then he slowly locks eyes with Kaido, teasingly asking if this was a super-secret romantic confession, but our incredibly annoyed hero just responds with a bone-chilling silence. The assassin chuckles at the deadpan reaction, boldly adding that Yuzua is honestly ridiculously cute up close. He feigns shock that she shares blood with the chairman. Kaido drops the high school act entirely ruthlessly, demanding to know this bastard's true objective. Is this bloody payback for the purple-haired trash? The fake student just shrugs, looking completely and utterly unbothered. He casually smirks, asking if Kaido really slaughtered Sanjo. His predatory eyes start scanning our hero's muscular build, openly amazed that this supposed kid butchered a trained killer while sustaining only a few pathetic scratches. Veins pop on Kaido's forehead as he growls the question again. The deadly lance finally shreds his cheerful, innocent disguise. He confesses his true greed. He wants that mythical secret treasure Yuzua inherited. Boom, Kaido's worst suspicions are completely validated. Twisted Villain admits they are clueless about the item's nature, currently just hunting for solid intel. Then comes the devil's bargain. He invites Kaido to join their lethal syndicate, praising his monstrous assassin-crushing strength, pitching it as a dark dream job, killing scum, rolling in massive cash. Plus, Yuzua might easily leak the treasure's location to her trusted friend. A sinister, blood-curdling grin stretches across Akatsuki's face. He ominously whispers that this deal is generously perfect, because submitting is literally the only way both he and the heiress survive crossing paths with this nightmare organization. Stepping back to the dizzying rooftop edge, he spreads his arms like a demon. Defy him and the innocent student body gets slaughtered. Kaido's killer instinct ignites. Refusing to be blackmailed, he explodes forward like a rocket, unleashing a devastating hurricane of rapid-fire strikes. Yet Makoto fluidly dances through the lethal barrage, arrogantly praising Kaido's insane speed as being absolutely on par with professional hitmen. But a trap is sprung. Our absolute madman locks onto the villain's arm, coldly revealing he fully anticipated the coward's hidden bomb trick. That deadly little cube. It is his signature weapon, flawlessly blending explosive devastation with martial arts. The entire underworld knows this is his absolute favorite method for utterly erasing a target. Hearing his secret codename drops the killer's jaw. Leaping backward, he screams that Kaido knows way too much dark stuff to be just some ordinary civilian. Flashing a completely psychotic grin, Makoto suddenly reveals 6 more explosive cubes, declaring the death game is officially leveling up. Eyes burning with fierce resolve, our guy vaults across the rooftop to intercept those deadly projectiles. Snatching the first 3 midair, he instantly dashes toward the remaining deadly targets. Our boy casually parkours off the wall, using his literal feet to trap the last 3. Watching this impossible stunt, Makoto admits Kaido is a complete freak of nature. Suddenly, he chucks a hidden explosive straight toward the crowded courtyard below. Kaido lunges frantically, but the smiling assassin mocks him, claiming he cannot possibly play hero for the entire school. Gravity wins as the cube plummets into the field. Behind him, the giggling lunatic snaps his fingers, instantly detonating the deadly payload. Kaido braces against the shockwave while terrified students below erupt into pure panic, scrambling wildly to escape the booming blast zone. Chuckling, Makoto explains he tweaked the fuse to detonate midair, ensuring 0 actual casualties. He smirks, calling it a special reward for surviving his 6-bomb barrage. Kaido practically boils with rage, but Makoto interrupts, flashing more explosives while demanding his true identity and inviting him to join their shadow guild. Pausing briefly, our hero delivers the ultimate deadpan response. He is just your average high schooler, plus he would rather die than join their twisted ranks. Looking genuinely crushed, Makoto decides a few innocent bodies might change his mind. However, our guy completely halts him by dropping one legendary name, Gungnir. That mythical title makes the killer whip around with insane, bloodshot eyes. Meanwhile, Kaido calmly confesses that he was once that legendary phantom. As emergency evacuation sirens blare, Makoto fiercely glares daggers at our boy. He throws a massive tantrum over him, uttering Gungnir's sacred name. But boom, Kaido smirks, revealing he was simply stalling. Before Makoto can even process the trick, frantic school officials storm the rooftop, searching for stranded student. The pink-haired psycho grants him exactly 3 days to join their syndicate, promising pure agony if he dares to refuse. Following the explosive chaos, the entire student body gets an unexpected early dismissal. Rumors fly about the bloodless explosion, while a confused Yuzua asks Kaido why he is not heading straight home. Kaido casually claims he has urgent errands, warning her to stay indoors, since the bombing might be another assassination attempt on her. Suddenly, Kawhi aggressively screams that security is maxed out, proudly boasting he is learning martial arts just to protect Yuzua. Sadly, his intense try-hard energy only makes her cringe completely. Yuzua demands emergency texts, which he accepts. But as her car vanishes, Kaido shoots a death glare toward Makoto, silently declaring he sees right through his stupid games. From the shadows, Makoto watches him closely, completely convinced that Tuji would violently punish anyone disgracing Gungnir's legacy. Riding the local train later, our hero prays he successfully pulled Akatsuki's deadly aggro away from Yuzua and onto himself. He shudders, remembering that, despite being the youngest divine spear, Akatsuki possesses absolutely terrifying combat power. Clenching his fist, he realizes his new body feels right, yet facing a divine spear in a deathmatch remains a heavily unbalanced nightmare. This crushing gap in power sparks real dread about surviving their inevitable clash in 3 days. Still, his resolve to shield Yuzua burns hotter than ever, even if it requires slaughtering that pink-haired freak. Stepping off at Shibuya Station, our boy walks a ghost path back to the exact location of his own brutal murder. Vaulting onto the dark balcony, he questions his own foolish heart. Mirai will definitely not be waiting for him anymore. As the apartment door ominously creaks open, his instincts flare. Is this another deadly ambush by the Shadow Organization? Pushing past the fear, he steps inside. The bloody crime scene is erased, leaving the familiar apartment frozen in a melancholic stillness. Suddenly, a hidden rustle forces him instantly into a lethal combat stance. Bracing for a hidden killer, he completely freezes when his dog John happily trots out, tail wagging. Barking with pure joy, the ultimate good boy charges forward, playfully clamping a familiar plastic frisbee in his mouth. This sweet sight violently throws him back to sunlit park days playing fetch with Mirai. Tears blur his vision as he realizes his loyal friend remembers his soul. Then a framed memory catches his eye. A precious beach photograph capturing him. Mirai and John smiling together in perfect harmony. The frame triggers a bittersweet road trip memory. Mirai once confessed she never understood his dark job, but she only ever wanted him to find true happiness. Staring at it, he whispers his final vow to die, protecting her with a satisfied smile. But Mai drops the ultimate truth: bomb ghosts cannot smile. She orders him to actually embrace the land of the living for once. Cue the dramatic waterworks. Our tragic hero sobs, utterly devastated that his chance to make her smile is gone, leaving only bittersweet memories. Sniffling away his tears, he heads home and spins a sob story to his family about a poor abandoned dog needing a forever home. He presents the furry hostage, hitting them with the ultimate puppy dog eyes. Zero persuasion needed. Taro instantly claims the fluff ball, while Kyoto is already drafting a highly strategic daily dog walking schedule. He dubs the mutt John, inheriting the boring naming sense of the previous owners. Later, he texts Yuzua fishing for drama, only to hear she is dying of absolute boredom. She immediately demands playtime with the new puppy, but our boy shuts that adorable idea down fast. The timing is terribly wrong. A dangerous smirk creeps across his face. It is time to get to work. He dials up Akatsuki, who answers with maximum sass, mocking our boy for calling before their 3-day timer has even dinged. Playtime is officially over. He challenges the psycho to a pre-dawn rooftop smackdown, dropping the ultimate mic drop revelation. He is the legendary Gungnir, and this ends today. Hearing that sacred codename absolutely fries the brain of Akatsuki, instantly crushing his poor phone into digital dust. To him, a mere high schooler like Kaido is absolute trash compared to the flawless god-tier assassin known as Lord Tuji. Yet this arrogant brat actually has the sheer audacity to steal the Gungnir title right to his face. Flashback time. 3 years ago in the Middle East, a botched lethal mission left Akatsuki totally cornered by heavily armed hostiles thanks to his own massive screw-up. His left arm was blown to absolute smithereens. The Grim Reaper was practically knocking on his door. Just as he embraced his bloody doom, Tuji materialized out of thin air, slaughtering the entire enemy squad in one breathtaking blink. A tearful Akatsuki praised his explosive rescue, begging his idol to survive while swearing on his life to finish the disastrous mission himself. Fast forward to morning dawn, the ultimate rooftop showdown officially begins. Akatsuki hilariously roasts our boy, wondering why on earth he wore a basic school uniform to a death match. Kaido delivers the ultimate flex. He will casually trash this assassin, then rush straight to homeroom. Cackling like a maniac, Akatsuki admits they share the same chaotic schedule. He then confesses that the recent battle moves of Kaido eerily mirrored the legendary Gungnir. He confesses his past fanboy obsession, but feeling the aura of his idol radiating from this arrogant kid has triggered his unforgiving psychotic rage. He fully intends to turn Kaido into crispy human barbecue. Flashing a villainous smirk, Akatsuki decides to drop a delightfully wicked little secret. Before the fists fly, he casually mentions he hid deadly explosives all over the pristine high school campus. Thanks to his overpowered brain-linked cyborg arm, a simple finger twitch will trigger a massive fiery catastrophe. If our hero bites the dust, the entire student body explodes. The only way to cancel this explosive apocalypse is by violently hacking the mental Bluetooth connection to his metal limb. So the gruesome multiple-choice test: amputate the cyborg arm or completely scramble his crazy brains. Kaido coolly selects option C. He can simply punch this dramatic villain straight into dreamland to disarm the explosives. Akatsuki looks utterly baffled. Our boy just smirks, reminding the stunned villain that he literally knows him inside and out. Slipping into his combat stance, Kaido drops his heroic vow: 0 casualties today. He is only here to shut this insane temper tantrum down. Flashing a cocky grin, Kaido questions the delusions of the assassin before instantly exploding forward, like a bullet launching a blistering surprise assault. The cyborg barely evades, but our hero knows his only real cheat code here is memorizing the exact combat quirks of his former subordinate. Since his fragile teenage vessel lacks his past godlike stats, Akatsuki exploits the gap mercilessly, chucking a handful of explosives into the sky. Boom! The blinding shockwaves are designed to completely shatter the sensory organs of our high school hero. A vicious left hook follows. But our reincarnated master perfectly predicts the cheesy combo, weaving past the metal fist to deliver a devastating chest strike. Defying gravity, the cyborg wildly contorts mid-flight, narrowly dodging the bone-crushing blow. He instantly answers with a thunderous counterpunch, launching our hero backward like a ragdoll. Skidding to a halt, Kaido gets a chilling reality check. Akatsuki gloats that riding the momentum saved him as a blocked strike would have shattered his fragile teen bones. Wearing a thoroughly demonic grin, Akatsuki taunts that if the soul of Gungnir truly lives inside him, he better unleash a much bigger boss battle phase. Our boy winces as his ribs fracture. He suddenly realizes that battling a top-tier divine spear requires way more than just a recycled walkthrough guide. Kaido sighs, internally accepting that normal high school slice-of-life tropes were simply never meant for a legendary assassin. Yet this miraculous second chance at life absolutely has to mean something bigger. He swears an epic new oath, total victory with 0 bodies. He will survive this insane death game for his precious newfound family. Channeling pure shonen willpower, he throws an earth-shattering haymaker. Fists fly in a blinding barrage until a sudden agonizing migraine violently interrupts his epic comeback. Seizing the opening, Akatsuki unleashes an absolute hurricane of deadly fists. Our boy desperately dodges, but a few hits connect. He grits his teeth, forcing his mind to predict the enemy's attack patterns. Bam! A crushing kick sends Kaido skidding across the concrete. Exploiting the gap, the pink-haired psycho chucks another explosive cube. Boom! Flames engulf the roof as the assassin charges in for the kill. The joke is on him. Our main character already read his attack trajectory. The assassin throws a brutal haymaker, but Kaido casually blocks it. He smirks, declaring that this pathetic killing intent will never break his iron will. He promises to swallow that blazing fury whole. Feeling a dangerous aura shift, Akatsuki hastily retreats. Kaido clutches his pounding head. His awakened senses explode. He can now literally track the assassin's very consciousness and spiritual energy. The killer sweats bullets. He stares at our hero's shifting aura, utterly dumbfounded by this insane power spike. Wait a minute, did that last strike not come perfectly from his absolute blind spot? How the heck did a mere high schooler block that? It was like he had a cheat skill predicting the exact angle. Summoning a handful of explosive cubes, the assassin grins. He admits this game just hit nightmare difficulty. His comedic confidence vanishes into deadly focus. He has no clue what cheat code our boy is using, but he swears to shatter those defenses. Kaido shifts into a martial arts stance, bracing for the incoming barrage of chaos. The villain drops an explosive behind himself. He uses the shockwave to launch another deadly cube straight at our hero's face. Ka-boom! A devastating blast rocks the area, but our guy elegantly sidesteps. Channeling his inner Shadow Monarch, he weaves past the projectile at the very last second. It detonates harmlessly in his wake. Akatsuki claps mockingly at that epic dodge. After all, if the target died, that easily dispatching an elite assassin would be a total joke, but our main character stays dead silent. His icy glare dares the pink-haired punk to bring his absolute worst. Meanwhile, back home, the earth-shattering shockwaves jolt John and Kaido's mother completely awake. She rubs her sleepy eyes. Are those late-night fireworks? Or is a literal war breaking out? Back on the flaming rooftop, the deathmatch rages on fists raised high. Our hero maintains perfect battle concentration. The assassin's hands move at godlike speeds, but our boy reads his combat patterns like an open book. The killer's muscles coil tightly as he preps his ultimate strike. Kaido's foresight triggers instantly. He senses 4 explosives, aiming to detonate exactly 2 meters away. Right before detonation, Kaido roundhouse kicks the cubes into the sky. The blazing shockwaves scatter, turning the entire rooftop into a magnificent firework display. Our boy firmly plants his feet. He crosses his arms to block the blistering heat of the hellfire. His system senses danger. He effortlessly weaves past a lethal left hook, instantly countering with a flurry of lightning-fast jabs. The elite assassin scrambles backward. Panic sets in as he realizes this high schooler's fighting style is completely busted. What kind of joke is this? He cannot land a single devastating blow on this amateur. Those back-to-back explosions should have absolutely shattered the kid's eardrums and blinded his vision. Even breathing in this suffocating inferno should be totally impossible. Yet those piercing eyes read his very soul. That overwhelming pressure instantly triggers a terrifying flashback of his beloved comrade. Remembering Kaido's crazy claim, the assassin completely loses his mind. He screams at our hero to stop spewing absolute garbage. He roars, demanding the truth. If this kid really holds that soul, why the heck did he spawn in so late? Meanwhile, our boy's stamina bar is flashing red. Gasping for oxygen, he stubbornly keeps his fighting stance locked in. His cheat level predictions are perfect, but his physical stats are trash. This weak, untrained vessel will crash at any moment. Leaping onto the dangerous ledge, Kaido makes a fateful choice. The time for retreating is absolutely over. Seeing this, the villain smirks wickedly. The cornered rat has nowhere left to run. Grabbing a fistful of explosives, he laughs like a maniac. Prediction means nothing against overwhelming firepower. He chucks the deadly payload straight ahead. Our hero's eyes ignite with legendary resolve. Burning every last drop of aura, he charges directly into the danger zone, swearing to protect everyone's smiles. The detonator clicks. A blinding flash turns the rooftop into a miniature sun, but our blinded main character fearlessly dashes forward. Relying purely on his spiritual radar, he locks onto the enemy and unleashes a desperate punch. The killer wildly evades. Gripping an explosive in his metallic palm, he swings a devastating right hook, aiming to obliterate our hero's skull. Kaido's foresight activates once more. He reads the attack perfectly. The sudden elbow block shatters his defense. Seizing the opening, he counters with a devastating strike right to the jaw. The combo is not over. Roaring Akatsuki's name, he unleashes a brutal body blow, ending the absolute beatdown with a rib-crushing kick to the stomach. Steel shatters on impact. The force sends the assassin flying off the rooftop, blacking out before gravity introduces him to the unforgiving concrete below. Memories flicker back to a younger assassin. He desperately begs Gungnir to abandon him and escape the deadly crossfire, but the stubborn hero smiles, refusing to let even a single comrade meet the Grim Reaper today. Gungnir knows such foolish loyalty makes a terrible assassin, yet that very compassion is why he chose this path. Facing absolute monsters, he swears to forge his own chaotic brand of justice. Akatsuki stirs awake, demanding to know why Kaido spared his life. With a shrug, he casually admits his main goal was stopping the explosives, never actually intending to end the guy. The assassin chuckles, darkly mocking his delusion of crushing the entire syndicate solo. Unfazed, Kaido declares he will tear them down anyway. It is the only righteous path left for a retired shadow dweller. That unyielding gaze jolts Akatsuki, instantly superimposing Gungnir's legendary shadow over him. Kaido swears to obliterate everyone, even Odin or the Great Will itself. Hearing this absolute madness, Akatsuki erupts into hysterical laughter. He calls the insane declaration absolute lunacy. Surprisingly, this wild bluff finally convinces the assassin that this kid is genuinely Tuji. Smirking, the boy admits only a glorious maniac like Tuji would utter something so ridiculously suicidal. As our hero blinks in confusion, the pink-haired rogue bluntly asks the million-dollar question. How is a supposed corpse currently walking around looking like an absolute twig? Kaido sighs, confessing he expected the afterlife too. Instead, he shockingly woke up, hijacked inside this weak student's body. Tapping his temple, he reveals his mind as the only surviving piece of Tuji. The sheer absurdity makes Akatsuki bolt upright. The grim revelation hits next. Only Odin could have ordered the execution, strike a truth that violently drains Akatsuki's face pale. Realizing his current pathetic power levels, Kaido demands to level up quickly, bluntly asking the assassin for backup. That crazy request forcefully drags the assassin back into his nostalgic memories. Snorting with laughter, Akatsuki tells the reincarnated legend to stop spewing nonsense. Grabbing his broken steel limb, he officially drops the hit contract. Knowing Tuji is alive changes everything. The mission is void. Asked about returning to headquarters, the assassin scoffs. Crawling back after such a humiliating absolute defeat is basically a death sentence. Turning the tables, he questions the kid's next grand scheme, his expression turning dangerously serious. Akatsuki plans to play detective first. He still refuses to believe the almighty Odin would betray and hunt down Tuji. Warning that sirens are approaching, he advises a quick escape, jokingly, adding that classes are definitely cancelled after this explosive mess. Watching the rogue leave, our protagonist tries shouting back, but his weak legs suddenly give out, sending him crashing down. Confusion floods his fading consciousness as his vision blurs into absolute terrifying darkness. In the shadows, mysterious operatives silently infiltrate the aftermath, successfully extracting Gungnir's body. An ethereal voice echoes through the void, nagging the hero to awaken. His groggy mind searches for the mysterious source. Snapping his heavy eyelids open, he scans the strange abyss, shockingly realizing his original, glorious assassin body has returned. The phantom voice welcomes him back ominously, declaring that their two souls are now permanently fused together as one. Kaido gently drifts forward like a ghost, making Tuji's eyes widen in utter shock. Begging him to protect Yuzua with his abilities, Kaido fades away. Tuji frantically screams the kid's name, desperately grasping at empty space. Jolting awake in a cold sweat, a goofy dog face greets him. Sprawled on the floor, he groggily questions his current reality. Downstairs, the panic is real. Breaking news flashes on the television reporting the massive school explosion. Terrified by the bombing updates, Kyoto anxiously wonders if rushing Kaido to the emergency room is necessary. Scrolling through texts about dizzy spells and early naps, the father gently sighs, suggesting her maternal anxiety is just overreacting. He reassures her that their traumatized son is simply drained from the chaotic day. A deep healing sleep will definitely fix him. Upstairs, the hero glares at his ceiling with a foggy brain. Checking the time, he realizes he slept away 12 straight hours. Fragments return. The rooftop blackout, the sudden magical transport home, and his deadly injuries mysteriously bandaged up. Best of all, Akatsuki finally accepted his crazy Tuji reincarnation. But did this fragile body display enough monstrous aura? That bizarre, overpowered sensation earlier felt exactly like absorbing Akatsuki's intense combat emotions. Honestly, without that mysterious power surge, he definitely would have died up there. His existential crisis gets interrupted by a ringing phone. Seeing Yuzua's name, he snatches it up, practically screaming to check if she is alive, leaving her completely stunned. She instantly fires back, demanding why he ghosted her morning texts. Being guilty to oversleeping, he sighs in pure relief, knowing she is perfectly safe. She mentions a crazy explosion blew off the school roof, canceling classes for a whole week. Naturally, our guy plays completely dumb. Her intuition flares. She asks if Ko caused this mess instantly, triggering his massive panic sweat. The scolding begins. She interrogates him, suspecting his sudden sickness is actually a cover-up for explosion injuries from his reckless antics. Kaido sits up sweating. Her terrifying intuition never misses. Reflecting smoothly, he checks on her safety, then drops a cheesy bombshell. No matter what madness comes, he will always protect her. Yuzua instantly morphs into a blushing tomato. Flustered, she warns him not to distract her with his smooth hero lines. As she rants, Kaido's mother checks the ringing doorbell downstairs. The porch is completely empty, save for a mysterious box. Knocking on his door, his mom announces a random delivery, dropping it right out in the hall. Highly suspicious considering he ordered absolutely nothing. Mom calls him for dinner, prompting Yuzua to hastily end the phone call. Kaido lifts the strange package, carefully confirming it conceals no booby traps. Upon opening it, his jaw drops. Inside rests his signature assassin blade, accompanied by a note. Who dared mail this straight to his home? The card reveals hidden coordinates. Destiny calls and he absolutely must confront this mysterious sender. Tracking the shady coordinates through Shinjuku, our boy notices the bustling crowd suspiciously vanishing into thin air. A perfectly deserted spot for an underground meeting. Could it be the mastermind behind his crazy brain transplant? He reaches an eerie apartment block. Yup, definitely an assassin's dream hideout. The deserted lobby practically screams danger as he cautiously ventures inside. A dark basement entrance appears. His spidey senses tingle, practically tasting an ambush from the knife sender. Reaching the creepy underground garage, he steps in, demanding answers from the shadows. Whoosh! A lethal sneak attack grazes him. A crossbow bolt pierces the wall. A smug archer and his female partner step into the light. She smirks. Dodging that was no accident. The legendary Gungnir could sidestep actual bullets. Complementing his killer reflexes, she waits as our confused hero demands if they sent the creepy invitation. The edgy archer denies him, answers instantly, knocking another deadly bolt. Firing away, the goon demands a trial by combat. Evading flawlessly, our boy notices sinister glowing eyes lurking behind them. The girl lunges. He casually glides back, letting her elbow completely smash a concrete pillar. He instantly analyzes their power. Just mid-tier grunts at best. She unleashes a flurry of strikes, but he parries them effortlessly. It is a classic textbook combo, range distraction leading into a brutal melee finisher. The archer tries a sneaky blindside hook, but our hero flawlessly pivots into a devastating counter. Wham! A gut-wrenching uppercut for the girl, and a brutal roundhouse rearranging the man's chin. He goes flying. The dazed dude stumbles, absolutely bewildered by this monstrous power, before recklessly charging again. With ultra-instinct vision, our boy reads the scrub like an open book, flawlessly predicting a pathetic 4-hit combo. Anticipating the sloppy left strike, he simply tanks it. Blocking instantly, he buries a devastating jab into the guy's chest. His combat software is upgrading mid-fight. Spatial awareness and reaction speeds go completely off the charts. The dual assassins are hopelessly overwhelmed. Reality strikes the battered woman. This is no kid. They just fought the legendary Reaper Gungnir. Coughing blood, the archer chuckles, praising our overpowered hero. Playtime is over. He digs into his pocket, completely ignoring his partner, screaming about breaking their strict orders. Enraged by the absolute humiliation, he refuses to back down. Hold it right there, a third voice echoes. A familiar face steps from the shadows, casually congratulating our boy Tuji on his brand new brain. Tuji's eyes widen. It is the evil syndicate's quack doctor Kyosuke Kuji. Our hero immediately blames him for this whole Frankenstein brain-swapping nightmare. The shady doc raises his hands, begging for peace. He admits to sending the dramatic invitation, but swears he did not play mad scientist with Tuji's precious gray matter. Plot twist, he actually quit the Great Will organization. Now he promises to spill the tea about the exact day our hero kicked the bucket. Brain completely malfunctioning from confusion, our boy demands to know Kuji's true identity. Time for an exposition dump. Kuji reveals a secret hit was put on Kaido, brutally executed by his very own partner, Hayate. Talk about workplace toxicity. Hearing that traitorous name, pure, unfiltered rage blazes across our hero's face. Kuji confesses this assassination plot was strictly top-secret, exclusive information, and naturally this shady doctor was on the mailing list. But playing the rebel, he leaked the intel. This sneaky move let them snatch Kaido's brain before the evil syndicate could lock it away. Processing this epic betrayal, Kaido demands the doctor explain himself. And more importantly, who are these two random extras standing nearby? Tuji drops another bomb. Those extras are Argos' elite agents, lapdogs, taking direct orders from the Japanese government itself. Their entire life mission: to absolutely obliterate the Great Will organization from existence, better known as Argos. These are the actual madmen who stuffed Tuji's squishy brain inside Kaido's muscular body. Tuji looks incredibly annoyed. Government bureaucrats handling his precious brain. Talk about zero privacy. Raoul calls it standard public service while Reika politely bows. She casually notes the government considers this evil syndicate public enemy number one. Raoul bluntly admits they only kept Tuji's brain fresh because they desperately needed his skills. Kaido's mind practically blue screens trying to process this ridiculous info dump. Tuji admits they creepily watched his transplant recovery. Honestly, they are just thrilled. They did not have to murder him today. Since his death seems certain anyway, furious, our boy snaps back. If they knew about the assassination, they definitely knew Mariah was in deadly peril. He unleashes a terrifying death glare. It is so intensely murderous that even elite Reika shivers, sweating bullets. Raoul frantically denies it, swearing on his paycheck they were nowhere near that mess. Suddenly, a massive migraine strikes. Clutching his head, he groans, asking if his spider sense for killing intent is a freaky side effect of the surgery. But before anyone can drop more lore, his body shuts down, face-planting straight into the dirt. The group freezes, totally clueless on how to handle an unconscious protagonist. While the agents panic, Tuji gently strokes his chin, way more fascinated by that weird new superpower. Meanwhile, at Evil headquarters, Hashima grumpily asks Izumi if Akatsuki checked in. Izumi sighs, revealing absolute radio silence. He totally ghosted them on every channel. Izumi openly admits dealing with Akatsuki was always a massive headache. But hey, the 12 divine spears get special privileges to goof off, provided they do not anger the big boss Odin. Paranoia creeping in, Hashima questions if an elite divine spear could actually get their butt kicked in battle. Izumi literally laughs out loud, mocking him for finally telling a halfway decent joke. He smirks, claiming unless the legendary ghost of Gungnir returned, nobody could ever defeat a monster like Akatsuki. Hashima shudders at Gungnir's terrifying strength but points out that dude is super dead, and his corpse is long gone. Still, Izumi warns about juicy rumors. Argos supposedly uncovered top-secret dirt regarding that very legend. The villains reach a dark consensus. If a rat is hiding among them, they must exterminate it before things get messy. Boiling with rage, Hashima declares they will crush Argos first. After that, the seat of Fenrir is next on their hit list. Meanwhile, our protagonist's consciousness reboots inside his very own mindscape. He instantly recognizes this trippy, exclusive mental lounge. The spectral Kaido materializes, casually explaining this is the exact spot where their two brains became roommates. Finally grasping Kaido's true identity, Tuji looks around and asks if this freaky headspace is his legendary superpower. Kaido smirks, dropping some classic master wisdom. To unlock its true potential, he just needs to blindly trust his gut instincts. Tuji snaps awake. Talk about deja vu. He blacked out from a migraine after fighting Akatsuki, only to wake up with Kaido crashing his mental couch all over again. Sipping coffee nearby, Tuji cheerfully announces they have relocated to one of his super-secret villain hideouts. Turns out it conveniently connects straight to that dramatic parking garage from earlier. Shady Doctor checks his watch, noting our hero enjoyed a solid 1 hour and 50-minute nap after eating dirt. Oh, and he secretly ran unapproved science experiments on Tuji's brain during his nap. Neural links are perfectly fine. But his brainwaves, they are completely off the charts, skyrocketing like crazy whenever a fight breaks out. Tuji figures that intense bloodlust Tuji feels. Yeah, it is basically a side effect of his brain constantly running in overdrive. Honestly, dragging a real doctor in here right now would be the smartest move. But straight up, this condition is a ticking time bomb. Tuji bluntly warns the main character that this mental short circuit already knocked him out cold for hours. Keep pushing this broken system and his brain is going to permanently fry itself. Rising to his feet, our guy locks his blade right on Tuji. With ice in his voice, he demands the answer he has been waiting for. Did this guy actually let Mai get snatched just to force him onto the team? Not breaking a sweat, Tuji smoothly denies knowing anything. Pointing that angry blade at him is a total waste of energy. He casually drops a harsh truth. Would our boy rather be a corpse beside her? Bam, Raoul kicks the door wide open, instantly shattering the mood. He snaps at our guy to put the pointy toy away. Wearing a deadpan glare, Raoul starts throwing some seriously sharp shade. The Great Will organization wants to literally blow up the world, and now this crazy ex-member is sitting here giving them a moral lecture. Hilarious. Tuji interrupts the roast, laying out Argos' master plan. 2 legendary keys are needed to crush their enemies. First up is Gungnir. Second, the mythical seed of Fenrir. It is a holy relic those bad guys guard like their own lives. Click. His brain connects the dots. This is exactly why that psycho Akatsuki was hunting Yuzua down. So what is the play? Raoul smirks at the question, teasing that the angry stray dog is finally ready to play fetch. Tuji fires back that he was going to wreck this villain group anyway, solo or not. Raoul chuckles, admitting that mutual revenge makes a great bonding activity. Business time. Kuji finally drops the details of the raid. Target acquired the organization's top-secret hub. Oh, and it happens to be our hero's lovely former workplace. It is a total ghost facility, a shady lab named Avalon, where they literally force humans to evolve into freaks. Worse yet, it houses an elite squad totally obsessed with unlocking the seed of Fenrir. Crack Avalon open, and they get the treasure's secrets. Our guy realizes this heist might finally explain why Yuzua got dragged into this mess. No more stalling. He tells Kuji to spill the entire battle plan right now. D-Day is here. A stealth chopper cuts through the clouds above an uncharted coordinate. Kuji leans in, hyping up the stakes, steal the data, burn the lab, and completely cripple the evil organization in one go. Game on. Adrenaline pumps as the countdown clock mercilessly ticks away. Just 5 minutes, until they drop into hell. 3 minutes to drop. Raoul shoots Tuji a sideways grin, mockingly asking if the rookie is wetting his pants yet. Totally unfazed, Tuji shoots back that he is feeling just as terrified as Raoul is. But deep inside, his blood is boiling with excitement. The payback he has been craving is finally here. Flashback to the briefing room, Kuji maps out the nightmare. This giant base is split into 2 massive danger zones, a towering 20-story meat grinder above, and a dark, twisted dungeon right below it. Originally, an assassin boot camp. Now, a mad science lab breeding mutant killers by messing with human DNA. Sick stuff. Reika deadpans the awful truth. It is literally a monster factory churning out freaks of nature. Pointing at the map, Kuji reveals the jackpot is hidden on underground floor 3. That is where the golden data sits. It holds the holy grail of intel regarding the seed of Fenrir. Raoul smirks, setting the win conditions. Snatch the hard drives, and hey, maybe blow the whole place to dust for fun. The play is a classic split. Team A causes a massive, noisy distraction, while Team B sneaks right through the front door. Sure, Avalon is highly classified, but luckily their security is not exactly rocking army-grade firepower. Sneaking in is still going to suck, though. They are going in totally blind regarding the map. Like a true madman, Tuji boldly volunteers for the stealth mission. Raoul flashes a wicked grin, chuckling that this was always the trap. He darkly hints that keeping Tuji breathing finally pays off right here. Teasing him, Raoul jokes about sacrificing our boy for world peace. Better yet, Raoul is tagging along. They are officially a chaotic tag team. Just 90 seconds left on the clock, Raoul and Reika kick things into gear. Barking out the last orders, the boss commands everyone to hold their damn positions perfectly. Reika shouts her move, 10 grunts with her to crash the roof, and 10 more to completely storm the front gate. She smirks, outlining the master plan. Her squad will blow things up and make a massive racket, letting Tuji and Raoul easily sneak right through the front door. Our main character gives a confident nod, knowing they will absolutely nail this. Meanwhile, Raoul happily confirms their sneaky southern entrance strategy. The cargo ramp suddenly drops, wind howls in, and Raoul instantly panics, squinting through the absurdly thick and blinding clouds. But our badass boy just smirks. He can practically smell the Avalon base lurking right beneath their feet. Hurtling toward the drop zone, Tuji drops a total bombshell on an unsuspecting Raoul. He dramatically shouts that the codename Gungnir is dead and gone. From now on, he is Kaido Fujiwara. Dropping that epic mic, the mission officially kicks off and the crazy crew yeets themselves right out of the plane. Our hero plummets like an absolute missile. Raoul screams his lungs out, begging the madman to slow the heck down, but Kaido completely tunes out the screaming. His mind is totally locked on the Great Will's twisted assassin factory, determined to uncover why poor Yuzua is their target. Hitting the deployment altitude, the squad finally pops their chutes, gliding down for a totally flawless superhero-style landing. Raoul totally loses his mind, yelling at Tuji for nearly giving him a heart attack. But shockingly, our boy is completely unfazed by these insane, death-defying stunts. Rolling his eyes at the endless, complaining, our boy angrily shushes him. He snaps at Raoul to bury that parachute before the guards spot them. Crouching like ninjas in the bushes, they scope out the perimeter. Raoul nervously chuckles, realizing Tuji's crazy plan is actually working perfectly for their southern infiltration. He volunteers to hack the shutter, but boom, a massive, deafening explosion suddenly rocks the rooftop right above their heads. Reika immediately radios in, sounding totally smug. Her distraction squads are officially blowing stuff up and causing absolute mayhem. She barks her orders through the earpiece. It is time for our boys to slip into the shadowy, heavily guarded facility. Raoul struggles with the heavy shutter while our boy just stands there totally hyped. The real nightmare has officially begun. The metal doors finally creak open. A shaking Raoul politely gestures for Tuji to go first, promising to hide safely right behind his back. Blaring red sirens completely shatter the silence. An automated voice screams about intruders ordering every single guard to rush the roof and main gates immediately. Inside, the nerdy researchers absolutely lose their minds. They are sweating bullets, wondering what kind of lunatics would actually dare attack their terrifying organization. With the guards chasing ghosts, Tuji and Raoul confidently sprint down the creepy, totally empty hallways like absolute bosses. Raoul is totally amazed by Reika's explosive acting skills, but he shivers, realizing these empty, dead, silent halls are actually super creepy to walk through. Suddenly, Tuji's killer instincts flare up. 4 hostiles approaching fast. Without hesitating, he darts right around the corner to ambush them first. Bam! He instantly flattens the first guy with a brutal headshot. The others panic and start blasting, but Tuji dodges the bullets and casually one-shots them all. Raoul's jaw literally drops to the floor. Did this crazy dude really just wipe out an entire armed squad in seconds using a basic knife? He breaks out in a cold sweat, realizing Tuji must have been holding back his true monster strength during their previous little brawl. Tuji casually points ahead, totally ignoring the bodies. The stairs are right there, and they seriously need to hustle up now. Watching the security feeds a sinister Izumo smirks. Just 2 idiots breaking in. But they actually trashed his chemically enhanced goons like they were absolutely nothing. Lurking in the shadows, a totally unhinged Omega licks his lips. He giggles, calling the 2 intruders a very tasty-looking snack. He begs Izumo for a sweet deal. If he completely slaughters these 2 pests, can he finally get his glorious freedom outside this boring lab? Izumo flashes a wickedly cheeky smile. He fully agrees, reminding the psycho that Lord Odin's absolute order is to defend Avalon no matter what it takes. Izumo practically double dares him to unleash hell. Crushing these bugs will officially promote him to a lance, earning a seat among the legendary 12 divine spears. Omega totally geeks out. This is his very first chance to use his insane powers in the real world, and he finally gets permission to murder humans. Back in the hallway, a panicking Raoul begs our boy to keep running from the backup, but Tuji just freezes in place like a literal statue. Despite Raoul's desperate screeching to keep moving, Tuji remains completely motionless, glaring fiercely into the darkness. He mutters darkly, "This cursed hellhole was built for one sick reason, to forge absolute monsters like him through totally messed up human experiments." His eyes blaze with pure, unyielding fury. He's going to completely crush their disgusting, twisted philosophy into mere dust. The psychotic idea that slaughtering totally innocent people is the only way to reshape this garbage world absolutely ends today.